We all have our own biases based on our life and based on experiences. Owner would have a certain way of doing things. The owner will ask certain questions. The owner will do things in a certain way. The owner will track things in a certain way. Kids have this objective that the business should be able to operate and grow even if you are not there.
So for that, basically, you have to broaden your horizon in the mindset, start trusting people, start developing processes, add systems to the organization.
Build capable teams, which allow inaccuracies or mistakes to creep in. But if you rely on data for making decisions, data doesn't make mistakes.
Hi and welcome to our channel. Thank you for tuning in. I started my journey into entrepreneurship way back, and it did not work out. I did not understand why. I planned well, strategized well, implemented well, but there were always some mistakes regularly happening, and in correcting the entire thing, I always lost the base. Now when I look back, I realize I did not have a system, no process. I was consecutively doing the same mistakes, rectifying in the same manner. If not this, then something else. Today, I understand the reason why. Just to make an awareness about the same, so that the new small businesses or the MSME sector or the new entrepreneurs, how can we simplify and get that awareness where you can automate your system, develop processes for your business, and really scale it. To join us today, we have an eminent personality with us, Mr. Pavan, an IIT Delhi alumnus. From working with tech providing solutions for decades, he created his own ecosystem in technology, which is helping, supporting to scaling small business to reach that goal they desired of. Let's welcome Mr. Pavan Singh with us. Hi Pavan, and thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, hi Surbi. Thank you for having me, and the pleasure is all mine.
Perfect. I gauged on few mistakes what I made when I started, and I think I'm still missing on a lot of things. Let's have a little about how, where, a little about you first. What has been your journey? How did this ecosystem come to you? A little about your personal life, and then about what do you do and how do you help businesses?
Sure. So I've been a techie and a software person throughout my career. I spent now more than 23 years in the enterprise software industry. So I started working with computers when I was 8 years old, and but I think I got the kind of a commitment into my career as in the software industry when I got admission into IIT Delhi in the computer science course. And this was when I graduated back in 2001. I think since then I've always been in the software industry, and I worked with different types and different size of software companies. Most of them that have been headquartered in San Francisco area, the Silicon Valley. And then I started my own software company 9 years ago, and that's kind of a brief of what I'm doing right now.
Landscape. Wonderful. Yeah. How about your personal life? What was a changing moment or the turning moment of your life that you thought of no more working for anybody? I need to step into my zone now. So what was that moment?
So maybe not one moment, but there were multiple things that were there in my life. And I think when I was in college, when I was doing my bachelor's in IIT Delhi, I think since then I knew that at some point of time I would start my own business. And this was because one factor was my father, my dad, who is my role model. He's not with me anymore, but he ran a small business, a consulting business in the environmental engineering and sustainable fields. And and then I had a lot of people in my family who were running their own businesses. I later on realized that these are called as MSMEs or micro businesses or small businesses. So this was one important factor. The other factor was that when my first mentor, who was my coach when I was studying for the IIT exams, this person, once we got into IIT, once I got into IIT, he told me that try to do something big with your life. Don't do the run of the mill stuff like join a MNC or do an MBA and in his words sell soap. So he said do something creative, do something innovative with life, especially now you've got the opportunity to study computer engineering and software, and that's a area where a lot of innovation is happening. So this was this was important. And then I think the trigger for me when to start my own business was it was around the year 2010, 11, 12. And this was when I was working for NetApp, which is a Fortune 500 company. It's the leader in the enterprise data storage industry. They sell, very big, powerful data storage servers to large enterprises. And there I was working on a project which was a cloud-based storage. And, that was I got to know about the cloud. There's something called cloud and there's something called the cloud software. And when I worked on this project, I realized that this whole cloud thing is going to change the way businesses around the world will be using software, forever. And that was a trigger for me that I wanted to participate in this change that's happening, and it was a good business opportunity as well. So I started my first business, with the idea of offering development services of cloud-based application to businesses back in 2012.
So that was for the Indian market, or were you taking care of the international market there?
So we were trying, so this was my first attempt at doing business, and I didn't know much about running business, before that, and it was a big learning experience. The company, the business itself was a big failure, because we didn't. We couldn't build a sustainable business. I tried this for 2 years, but it was a huge learning experience. And we tried to serve Indian customers, international customers. We tried to get projects, but I think after a couple of years, what I realized was that this was strategically, this was not kind of I was like a fish out of water, and it was because my whole, I'd spent about 10 years before this working in the software product industry. And then, now with this business, we were trying to do software services. We were trying to do build applications for other people. And this was not something I had ever done. And it was something that kind of, I realized it did not make sense to me, because I wanted to create my own intellectual property. I wanted to create my own innovation that that would be that would help me build a business, rather than the services industry where we are creating something for somebody else. We do a project for 6 months or 1 year, and then we hand over that project to the the owner, and it's just it requires a different mindset, and I think I've not been set up for that. So I tried that for about 2 years, learned a lot, but as a business, it was not successful. But I realized this realization that I wanted to go back and work in the software product industry was kind of the biggest realization from that experience.
Okay. And so when you diversified, basically, you were into development and you came into servicing, you feel the business acumen was lacking, or you did not knew the business ecosystem or how to run the business? What was the learning there for you?
Yeah, so it was everything. It was everything related to how to generate business, how to generate leads, how to hire, because we did not have much money, and how to hire good people without being able to pay them much. And then once you get a project, how to actually deliver the project successfully on time with the right quality. So having those, when I was working, I was doing just one part of this whole, what's called the software development life cycle. So I was just doing one part of it, which is I was developing and writing code and architecting the applications. But as a business owner, I was also involved in ensuring the quality is there, ensuring the customers are able to use the application. And we did not have, or at least I did not have, the understanding of the processes and the systems required for doing those things successfully as a business. So that was also part of the learning.
Yeah, you were into development and managing the entire business, taking care of the operations and everything. So that was your first learning to take away from here, that all right, so this is not my share of it. And then you came back to the works fair and got into employment, I guess.
Yeah, so then I again came back and joined the corporate industry, and I worked in a couple of companies for about 2 years. So it was a break, and then there was an idea that we had been working upon, and it was me and my brother at that time, and that idea stuck. And it was at the back of our mind, and it was something that we it's something that we couldn't give up on. And then that idea became my next company, which I'm currently running, which is called AllZip.
Wonderful. So that's the onset of the business. That's how you started after 2 years for it. What is the solution you're providing, and understanding the failure you had when you had set up your, I'm sure that it's a very comprehensive thing, what you prepared for the small, medium-sized business. First thing, how do you define small, medium-sized business? And what is the reason for the failures? Because we see even the government has been aiding, supporting a lot of MSMEs, but we see a lot of failures there. What is the reason, one big reason you see from the onlooker's point or from that expertise now? What is the reason for?
Right. So let's start with the definition. So the definition of micro, small, medium enterprises is not consistent around the world, and the definition varies by country and region. So in India, and in fact just recently, the definition of micro, small and medium businesses has changed in India. So the government of India has taken out a change in the definition. So micro businesses today are businesses where there has been an investment of less than 2.5 crores, and where they are making revenue annual turnover of less than 10 crores. And small businesses are where the investment has been less than 25 crores, and which are making revenue of less than 100 crores.
Okay.
And then beyond that, there's medium size enterprises where the investment, I believe it's less than 125 crore, and they are making revenue of less than 500 crore annually. But this definition varies by country, and this definition, people define it using annual turnover, and also in some areas it's defined by the employee strength of the organization. But typically a micro business is some it's a small business where it's a micro business which has less than 10 or 20 employees, and a small business is somewhere between 20 to 100 employees, and then a mid-sized business would be around 100 to 500 employees.
That's definition, and that's how the operating system works on. So what are we supporting as in terms of, or what reason or failure do you see for these businesses to fail?
Yeah. So the interesting thing is that, as MSME businesses in India, or, the small and mid-sized businesses as they are known as globally, are a very, very, important part of the economy in any part of the world. They are the part of the economy. They're the companies which give the maximum share of the employment. So more people are employed in MSME or SME businesses than in the large enterprises. Uh, so they generate a lot of employment, and they also generate a very big share of the country's GDP. Like in India, the MSME sector accounts for around 30% of the annual GDP and 40% of the annual um, the exports. But the challenge is that these businesses, they are run by very, very well-meaning, very passionate founders and owners, but because of certain limitations, or certain things that they do not do right, they're not able to scale and become like a big corporate or a MNC kind of business.
Correct. So they have aspirations, but they do not know how to make it.
Right.
Is that so they set up, I'm sure, with huge aspirations, they make some initiatives and they set up, but they do not know how to convert, and they're involved in everyday thing, and that's how they jeopardize the entire thing, if that's the big failure there.
Right. So there are a couple of common things that I see, and that I've seen and firsthand when working with these micro and small businesses, and that I've also learned by as part of my learning and knowledge. So the thing is that a lot of the business owners, they start with the idea that so it goes something like this, that somebody's working in a job and they are good at it, and then they have they're ambitious, they want to do more with their life or more with their work. It could be more money, or it could be more professional satisfaction. It could be one of those things, or it could be to build something that they can call their own, or it could be that they don't get along, or they think that they're not getting the recognition in their current organization. For whatever reason, they decide to start their own business. All right, and at that time they are full of hope, full of energy, and they have all the skills required to create value for the customers. But what they are missing out on is a couple of very, very key other skills. So in my experience, there are 3 fundamental and most important skills that any business owner needs to have. So the first skill is the technical skills, and the technical skills are those skills required to deliver value to your customers. And when people start this business, they normally have very good technical skills. They know how to create value and deliver value to the customers. But there are 2 other skills where they are lacking. The one of them is the entrepreneurship skills. So broadly, entrepreneurship skills are related to the marketing and the sales, where knowing what customer audience to cater to, knowing what to charge for your customer, what to charge for your products and services, how to get to your products, how to get to your customers. So those kind of skills, the customer facing, getting business kind of skills, the entrepreneurship skills, how to stand out in the market. So these are all the entrepreneurship skills. And because business owners have not had the right education, they've never done these kind of things, because they were busy in acquiring and doing the technical work. They don't have the entrepreneurship skills. The second area is what we call as the management skills. So management skills is about setting systems in place so that the business can run as a separate entity that is not dependent wholly and solely on the founder or the owner. So for example, the management skills would include building teams, so which is hiring and appraisals and giving them the capable building high class and capable teams. It is about setting the processes of how things are to be done. So for example, transferring the knowledge that the business owner has to the new members in the team. It could be setting up systems in all the different areas of the business, like sales and marketing and operations and hiring, HR and accounting and all of those. So the entrepreneurship skills and the management skills are the two big areas where business owners, although they are very passionate, they work very, very hard, but these two areas kind of, they hold them down. They hold them down. They act like, chains around their ankles, because of which they make very, very slow progress on growing their business, but they're not able to take off in a big way.
Correct. So when you say about entrepreneurial skills and management skills, somewhere money is a very big factor, but we do not understand that investing in these two channels rightly can help us scale the business. Yeah. So, but we, the fresh entrepreneurs or the fresh business starters, feel I can do it all. They want to have a hand on all the things, and they just complex the system, and nothing is simplified and classified. So they want to take care of the management also. They want to take care of the planning also. Is this the right way a small business works?
Right. So I've been at this place where I wanted to do it all in my business, and I can tell you this is it's one of the worst ways of building a business. It's like being a control freak, with having that mindset where trying to do everything in the business, from sending marketing messages to generating leads to closing the deals, and then to serve the customer and also do the accounts, also do the hiring. So this behavior is like a control freak behavior, and it just doesn't work. With this, you can build maybe a small business, and you can call it, you can get some kind of a ego satisfaction that you've built a business, and you control everything about it. But the reality is that the business will never be able to be independent. The business will always be dependent on the owner, and over time this this becomes so it's bad for everyone. It's bad for the owner, because the owner doesn't get time. The owner doesn't get any break from the business. The owner is thinking about the business 24/7. The owner cannot take holidays and leaves from the business, because the business literally would stop without him, or it would stop thriving without him, and the business is not able to scale. So the people who come into the business, they might not have any authority for making decisions, and because of that, you can't hire the good talent. So so this, like, being a control freak is one of the things you just have to give up on if you want to build a business that can scale and that can run without you.
So for that, basically, you have to broaden your horizon in the mindset, start trusting people, start developing processes, add systems to the organization. That's what should be an ideal fundamental to start a business over a span of time.
Right. So as a owner, we need to think about, why did we start the business in the first place? And so an important and you have to so an important part of it is the financial growth and the recognition that comes with a bigger business. So to do that, you have to give up that control freak attitude, and you have to let other people do the work, or at least define the roles and
Correct.
roles and responsibilities, define the functions within the organization, right? And then set up the systems and processes so that the business can work even when the owner is not doing the work, Because if as a owner, if you are doing the work, this is just a form of slavery. You're a slave to the business. And so it's important to set up those systems and processes based on your knowledge, so based on the knowledge of the owner, but build capable teams, and let the business operate. The business, have this, at least have this objective that the business should be able to operate and grow even if you are not there. So let's say if you want to, as a business owner, you should be able to take a holiday, a vacation for 3 months, and the business should still run without any major problems, and it should still continue to grow.
So, HR, finance, how does technology take this seat in stabilizing systems and processes? What is the role of technology, and what type of, especially for small businesses, the big challenge what they face is A, very complex systems because it is very, very manual. B, the competition with the bigger brands is huge. Their existence, it starts diminishing. So manual is one challenge they face because their system is too complex. And second is, how do they sustain in front of the bigger brands? So how does technology help in strengthening and making stronger systems?
Right. So let's look at what is a system first. So a system is a way of doing things that if you do it, you'll get predictable results. Okay. So for example, let's say sales. So in sales, the objective of sales is to close deals with the potential customers that we speak to. And so if we can define a set of things that we need to do in sales, maybe it's a certain things that we say to the customers, or certain presentation that we do to the customer, or certain pricing that we do to the customer. So if we can define those things, and a system is something that once we define those things, it will give us the predictable results, and it can be replicated. Means whether it's the owner doing those things or whether it's a salesperson doing those things, you would still get the same results or the similar results, right? So to build a good system, there are 3 main components of a good system. So the first is the team. So we need to have a capable team, a team that is able to do the job that is required. So there has to be basically the team skills and knowledge and capability. The second is the process. So the process is the steps of doing something. So for example, in sales, let's say the steps could be that, okay, send a certain email, then follow with another meeting request, then walk through a presentation of so and so type. So that is the steps of doing something. And the third is the technology. So technology is the part where the software comes in. So the technology component of a system is what helps you to track and monitor the how the system is working. So for example, in a good sales system, which is called a good sales system software is called a CRM software. So CRM software helps track the activities that are being done by our sales team. And so it would be the messages that the sales team is writing, or the meetings that they are setting up, or the codes that they are generating. So those can be tracked, and then that's how we know that what is being done. Because without the technology, we like we might miss out things, or we might not know what's going on in the organization, what we are doing. So technology is the component that helps to track and monitor the system.
So how much I understand from this, so technology can take role of everything, comprehend everything, and generate reports and create dashboards so that we can have quick am I on the right track to say this?
Yeah, absolutely. So technology can give you first of all, it can track what is going on. So who's doing what. Then it can allow you to delegate. So for example, any company which is it could be anybody beyond the owner. If you are even one team member, you need a task management system, a task management software, so that you can delegate it. Because delegation, without delegation, then we are back to the control freak kind of a behavior. So the software or the technology can help you delegate things, and then it happens automatically. People do the work. So let's say in the morning, the owner got up at 6 a.m., created a task, created some work, and assigned it to a team member in the software tool. Then the team member would do the work and update it in the software, and then the owner can check it at 10 p.m. So it's a you don't have to ask, you don't have to talk to the team member and for the status. The status is all there in the software. So in some sense, the way I like to think of it is that a good software for a business that helps in setting up these systems plays the role of, it's a digital digital avatar of the owner. So for example, the owner would have a certain way of doing things. The owner will ask certain questions. The owner will do things in a certain way. The owner will track things in a certain way. A good software should be able to replicate what the owner or the management wants to do without the presence of the owner.
Okay. So that's one thing, there is no turbulence even if somebody. And what is the way that, when we talk about big data, so when you when you were talking about sales, so for small business, then just not 1,000 mails a day, there must be lakhs mails a day, the sales mails or the reaching out to the clients or potential. So what is that data congestion and holding the data and retrieving the data and the benefit of the data they can have?
So so today we are living in a data, a data oriented workplace and a life. So it's very simple. So and this is, I'll share a rule I got from one of my managers. So I used to work with a very smart guy, and this person was my manager. He told me that, Pawan, between your gut feel and my gut feel will win because I have more experience than you. But between your data and my gut feel, the data will win. And the thing is that data doesn't make mistakes. Data is accurate. So, if you just rely on our gut feel, our experience, we all have our own biases. We all carry our own experiences, our own biases are based on our life and based on experiences, which allow kind of inaccuracies or mistakes to creep in. But if we rely on data for making decisions, so for example, let's say in sales, let's say I want to take a decision on what product should I promote in the next quarter. Now, if that is based on data, for example, the data could be that what product, let's say, I want to my strategy is to promote a product in the next quarter, which is doing, not very well in the market. And so if that data is available to me, I can select, let's say I have 100 products, I can select which one to promote. I can price it, I can create the offer accurately, without, in a way that is attractive to the customers, but still, gives me some certain profit. So for all this, I need data. So, the more data we capture in our, in every part of our business, the better decisions we'll be able to make.
Streamlining business, basically, just comprehending, comparing, simplifies the business.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been working with the small, medium business since a decade now. What is the best benefit as an organization or as a software provider? You feel, coming from a tech background, you feel that this is must to add on, and at this stage, when you raise a red flag or you see a red flag or you see a red alarm, you should reach out to technology support in case if you want to protect or save your business.
Right. So, so there are few things I've realized working with business owners. You know, so the business owners, lot of the time, they are very well intentioned. They want to set up systems, they want to set up software, but they face challenges because they don't have the right skills and the knowledge. So they don't have the knowledge to know what softwares do they really need, right? For example, just a simple example, let's say a company has to decide between implementing a CRM system versus a ERP system. For a business owner to make that decision requires a lot of understanding about the business, a lot of understanding about the capabilities of these systems and the value that they'll be able to bring to the business, which they don't have. The second thing, they kind of they are that holds them down is a mindset of and this is especially true in India. There's a mindset of software is expensive or software is costly, and I think maybe this is a mindset. It comes from a scarcity mindset.
Correct.
And I think, and to share an personal experience with you, I think when I was younger, maybe I was 20 years old, I was very I was not very comfortable spending money, because I did not understand what is money. That money is, and now I understand that money is just a energy, like love is an energy, or like helping somebody is an energy. Money is also just one energy. But in India, especially in North India, we like, for example, I have seen my grandfather, he came from Pakistan when the country was divided, and as in that he lost all his assets, he lost all his belongings. He had to restart his life when he came back, and restarted life in India. And that created a certain mindset that it was a very tough life for my grandfather. But the fact is that today's life is much easier, and or at least we have a lot of more resources at our disposal. For example, we have a lot of financial resources at our disposal. We can take loans. We have very good financial systems in India, and so on. So I think this mindset of cost, saving cost in the business, it's not just restricted to software, but a lot of the business owners they're not doing things because they are not willing to spend money. And what they're missing out is that if they spend 10 rupees, that is an investment, and that 10 rupees can give you results of 20 rupees or 50 rupees or 100 rupees. It's an investment that can give you results which are much more than what you're spending. But this is something that a lot of the business owners I've met, they find it difficult to understand this.
Somewhere mind clogging, because we come from an era where we always used to have our dads doing the accounts manually through hand, though they were handling a very small sphere of business. I still remember my dad doing all these accounts on the paper and just doing weekly recons onto it and taking it ahead to the next and then summarizing it for the month, though there were no systems, and he was quite too quick with it. But now, as we have to expand, as we have to broaden it out, we need better technology, better systems. How does and what type of industry are these systems more friendly? And to the truth, even I want to know, are systems tough to incorporate at trainings? Can a person like me who's not very techie, is it easy for me to learn it? Because it's very important for me to learn it to implement it in a right manner. So for any small businesses which are, which thinks about it that just not cost center, it is even cumbersome to implement into my system. My system is a very traditional, conventional way. So where is that gap filled up?
Right. So any business, howsoever small it may be, if if you want to manage the business effectively, and if you want to run it as a separate entity that is not wholly and solely dependent on the owner, then you need to implement systems in place, and you need to be able to delegate things to the team. You need to be able to build teams. You need to be able to track their work and so on. So software may not be like a mandatory thing for each and every company, but the fact is that today we are living in a digital world, and all of us are using digital applications to do things in our life, whether it's ordering food, or whether it's giving some money to our friend, or paying for the fruits we buy. So all this, the software in a business makes the business more efficient and productive. So and I think this maybe if a business is very small, like if it's a business of just maybe 5 people operating from one room, you can still maybe run it without any software tools. But as soon as your team becomes bigger, and as soon as people start working from different locations, WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is the software that everybody uses to communicate and collaborate. But we start facing the limits of softwares like WhatsApp, and that's where you need more professional software tools to set up the right systems and manage the business more effectively.
And how cumbersome is it to learn this technology before, that's one more apprehension when we are into this business and are not very techy. It takes time for me to learn. So how difficult is to adapt a system as a learning?
Right. So learning anything is a skill that we have to learn, and learning is something comes from practice. The more we practice something, the easier it gets. So remember, like I have a couple of kids, and I have a daughter who is currently learning to tie her shoelaces, and she used to, like, up till a couple of months ago, she used to just say that, Dad, I can't do it. But now she practiced and she's getting the hang of it. So that's how it is. The more you practice, the more you can get used to it. But the thing is that we need to start somewhere, and it's not difficult, because all the office going people, we are living in a digital age, and we are used to using the digital tools and the digital applications. So we are already doing it in our private lives, and we can easily learn tools in our work lives as well. And people in so the thing is that workers in the large companies, like the MNC companies or the large corporate companies, are already using these software tools. So if workers in those companies can use it, then even the workers in SME businesses can also use it.
So these SaaS tools, are they across industries, they work on the same limits and they have the same benefits, or it's customized as per the industry?
Right. So one of the another reason I've seen why business owners don't adopt the software tools, or they don't get the result from software tools, is that a lot of the time the software tools are not fitting their business workflow or their business process, the way their business works. And then then it becomes a question of either the business process adapting to the software, or doing some kind of a hack and some kind of a midway kind of a thing. Now, this is one of the main reasons why I started my own company. So I built a software called Oxid, which is which has a certain technology advantage. We are built on something called no-code technology, and this technology allows us to build software solutions for businesses that are exactly customized to their way of working. And this is one of the main things that this is our unique business proposition when we work with our customers, and we are able to deliver the you know we are able to digitize and automate their existing processes, rather than come in and say that, okay, you have to do things according to the software. This is not the right way of doing it.
Right. So basically, you customize as per their needs and their whatever process, you digitize it, and that's how you give them training and they implement into their systems.
Right. So that's one of the most key things that it's a USP of our business and the way we serve our customers. The other thing, there's another reason why that I said earlier, that business owners are not able to adopt the right software, even if they have the right intention to, which is the lack of skill and knowledge about what kind of software works for them. What kind of software would give them the benefits. And for this, my realization that business owners need to work with a consultant. They need to work with an expert.
Correct.
Who has that knowledge and expertise. And because of that, although initially we started out as a product company, so we said, okay, we'll build this product, you take our product and then you use it. But we realized very quickly that it doesn't work. And now we work as consultants with all of our customers. So we understand their business, we understand how their business works, we understand their challenges, and then we come in and say, okay, this is a software solution that works for you, and then we customize and build that software solution for them. And our technology advantage allows us to do all this within a 1 month period. Whereas there are, you may have heard of some of the very well-known big brands in the industry like Salesforce and SAP. For doing the same thing, Salesforce or SAP may take 6 to 12 months. And we are able to do it in less than 1 month. And because of that, the solution is very fast. So, the business owner can see the results very fast, and also it's much more cost effective.
What is the result? What is the result they get when we see as an evidence, because it's all in terms of outcomes. So what is the business owner takes handy, or something that comes to him as, serving him one platter? What is the technology support that gives?
Right. So the results are broadly in two categories. So I would say there's a short-term or immediate result, and then there's a slightly longer-term result that takes a little bit longer to come. So the immediate or the short-term result that our customers are able to see off the bat is that their day-to-day working becomes much more smoother.
Correct.
Their day-to-day activities are streamlined, whether it's in sales or whether it's in operation or whether it's in accounting, and the business owners and management are able to get the reports, real-time reports, not say like okay, tell the team member that I need a report on so and so sales thing, and the team member or the accounting team says, okay, you have to wait 1 day for it. So they're able to get all the reports. They're able to the team's work becomes much more smoother and streamlined. And there's a so a lot of the times before customers work with us, they tell us that there's a feeling of stress and chaos in the business. So there's a lot of stress. The owner is stressed because he doesn't know what's happening, and he's responsible. He's accountable for delivering certain thing to the customers, but he doesn't know how his team is doing, and the team is also stressed because sometimes the owner may get angry on them and so on. And after working with us and setting up these systems, all this becomes very smooth. So the team is happier because they know when any team member comes into work on a particular day, they know what they have to do, because this the software would have their work defined. Or when they come on Monday morning, they would know what they have to do for this week, what are the priorities. And the business owner is able to track all those things. The business owner knows the real-time status of let's say the orders that they have to deliver to our customers, what is the status of each order, which orders have gone out, and things like that. So the owner has peace of mind, and the owner has all the data is at available at his fingertips. He doesn't need to go and ask people about each and everything going on. So this is the short term or immediate result. It happened like within the first month. The longer term result is to move some of the key business metrics.
Correct.
So, for example, in sales, a key business metric is increasing revenue. Okay, or it could be reducing the time to close a deal, right? Depending on different companies. So this system, a software system, helps you with these things as well, because once the team is working more efficiently, more productively, more streamlined, they will be able to do more. With the same amount of team, you'll be able to do more. You'll be able to generate, let's say, you'll be able to handle more customers. You'll be able to have more conversations with them, and you'll be able to close deals faster. Your operations team will be able to do their production work and their delivery work faster and more effectively. So the business metrics like increasing revenue, or let's say increasing the improving the operations metrics like making deliveries faster, or improving the customer experience like reducing the number of complaints we get from customer, or improving the customer satisfaction scores. These also are realized, but they take about 6 months to 12 months to see those results.
Perfect. And are these softwares editable? Can we edit, modify as per the required change or with a span of time? Or what is the tenure and duration for it?
Right. So, there are two classes, of solutions in the industry. And the way I like to describe this is like, you think of the analogy of a house, of buying a house. So you can buy a ready-made apartment, like built by a reputed builder like DLF or Amrapali, and the apartment you can just buy it and move into it very soon. But every apartment in the society would look the same. It would have the same layout. As opposed to the second way is that you can build your own house, which would be the house of your dreams. It would have the layout that you have dreamt about. But for this, it's a much more costly affair, because you need to buy the land, you need to engage the architect, you need to engage the contractor, you need to get the clearances from the municipal department and so on, and it takes more time. So there is this analogy in the software world also. So there are softwares which are like buying a ready-made apartment, which are not customizable. Not customizable means, let's say in your apartment, of course you can customize it from the inside, but let's say in your apartment you want a bigger balcony. You can't do it, right? You can't, because that's so the outside is fixed, right? Whereas if you build your own house, you can have as big a balcony as you want, right? You can have as many balconies as you want, right? So there are softwares which are standard off-the-shelf softwares which are not customizable, like a ready-made apartment. And then there are softwares in India. In India is there's a huge industry of custom-built software, which is building completely custom applications, which is the analogy of building your own house. But they are very expensive and it takes time. So building a custom application is very well suited for large, big companies like American Express or MetLife Insurance. These are a lot of money to spend. Or it is suited for funded startups, like for example, Zomato. Now, what we offer is a third variant. We look at our solution as a Lego block solution. So Lego blocks are these block kind of toys we used to play with when we were kids. And the beauty of Lego blocks is that we can put together the Lego blocks in different ways to get different outcomes. So our solution has some Lego blocks built, and those Lego blocks can be combined together in different ways, and so we are able to deliver the customized solution to our customers without without the cost of building a custom solution. So at the cost of a really made off the shelf software, we are able to give a customized solution, and that is the other unique USP of our product.
That's the value and what you get.
Yeah.
Perfect. But just in a new or two, any case or any client of yours, without revealing the name and remain maintaining the confidentiality, where you see that incorporating this software has changed the business dynamics of that business entirely, and where's the most smoothing of the process happened when we introduced SaaS solution to them?
All right. So if you want, I can share the name of this client as well. I really can do that. So there's this client of mine from the they are kind of from the agriculture industry or the agriculture trading industry. So they are a facilitator in the agriculture trading of raw agriculture produce, like the grains and the cotton and the soya bean seeds and the the pulses and so on. So they were launching a new product, which is a procurement finance product. They called it the Profin, which is a procurement finance product, and it's a finance product in the agriculture trading industry. And the idea was that they are a mediator, they are an aggregator between a supplier and a buyer, and they would provide these financial services to the buyer. My customer is the CTO of this organization, and he told me that before working with us, he spent 1 year trying to build a custom business process application for managing this new business, and for tracking and managing the data and managing the trades essentially. And within that 1 year, he worked with the organization that builds custom software, but they didn't have anything to show for that 1 year. So they spent more than 25 lakh rupees, but they only had a document, which was like a requirement document and nothing else. Now, once this CTO and this company started working with me, within 3 months, we built the first version of their software, and they were able to. So before they were waiting to scale up this new business in weight of the software. So the business was using Excel sheets to track its work, which was really cumbersome for them because there was very important financial data, and there was some collaboration required between the sales team and the accounting team, which was very difficult to do in Excel. So they needed an application, and they spent 1 year building the application without any tangible results. Once they started working with us, within 3 months they got the application, and they were able to start scaling up the business. And the business within a matter of 6 months, it went from it grew from, let's say, if they were doing 100 rupees before they started working with us, it went to 10,000. So it went to something like 10,000 within 6 months.
Wonderful. Technology is a boon. You just need the right people to advise you. It can maximize your business, scale your business, broaden your horizons. Indulge and involve with the right people for your right business setup. Your business is your own baby. Work it right for yourself. Thank you.